Ok, aquí estamos en Puerto Rico. Este es Manadía, la parte sur de Puerto Rico. Saludos a todos de parte canario. Ahora vamos a montar un Sirio 5 octavos, conocido como una antena de aluminio media viejita, y ahora vamos a montarlo en la torre. Aunque ya está montado, ya se montó, ya se hizo lo más difícil, mi gente, que fue ponerle los radiales, treparla allá arriba. Ok, aquí ya montamos la antena. Como pueden ver, ya se montó en la torre. Ahora vamos a montar. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our connection first with one jumper. Usually the jumper is about 3 feet. Usually that's the correct size to use for a jumper. We don't recommend more than 18 inches. You can use 18 inches, which is pretty good, up to 3 feet. Okay, so we already did our connection on the back of the radio on the 2510, 2950. Okay, so as you can see, we got our connection there. Now this connection is gonna go hooked up directly to your amplifier. Okay, so we're gonna turn the amplifier to the side so we can see our connections here. When we got about RX, that's our that's what we call our output, and the antenna is our input. No, I'm sorry. Antenna is the output, and the RTX is the input. So we're gonna connect our jumper to the input. As you can see, we're doing our connections on the RTX. Okay, now we're gonna put it back. Okay, you see, we don't want the cable to be, we want it always to be where you don't have it where it's tense. You know, we don't want it tense, so we're gonna loosen it again and we're gonna put it around. So the jumper will not be tense. Will always at all times be we're gonna put it around there. Now we're gonna do our connection there, and this one right there. That's our input. Remember, the radio goes connected to your amplifier on your input side. Antenna is always on your antenna side, and the input is always where your radio will be transmitting. Okay, now we got that connection done. See, now our wires are pretty loose. No, we don't have no wires or tense or anything. Okay, so now we're ready for phase number 2. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect another jumper, and we're gonna put it to our antenna on our amplifier. No, you don't have to put it right there. Okay. Yeah. At all times, try to have your wires loose. Make sure you see what you're doing at all times. You know, make sure your connections are right and well screwed in and well connected. That's very important. All your connections. Okay. Now we already did our connection. Now we got this jumper. This jumper is about I would say this is 18 inches. An 18 inches. The other one is a 3 feet. Which is yeah, 18. I think this one is 18 inches, or I think 12 inches. Well, 1 feet. You can use up to 1 feet to 3 feet. No more than 3 feet. Not recommended more than 3 feet for a jumper. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna connect this jumper to our amplifier. We're gonna put this in our where it says audio. our radio. So we're gonna put it on this connection, on this side, no, the other side. Right, that's our input. From all times, that's our input, because you're gonna have your output going out on the radio. Now we're gonna take another jumper. We have this jumper, which is about 18 inches. Yeah, these jumpers are about 18 inches. 18 inches is perfect jumpers, no more than 3 feet. Okay, so we're gonna put this jumper on our antenna amplifier. Make sure we always have our connections well screwed in at all times. I see that you got it. You're not exactly. It's got to be straight. It's not gonna screw in. Okay, so we did that connection. Now, as you can see, this is our output and this is our input. Over here we have our input, and over here we have our output. Okay, now our output of the antenna. Okay, antenna. Now this is gonna go connected to our scan, our meter, which is gonna tell us our power, our SWR. We're gonna connect that to our transmitter. So now we'll connect this jumper to the transmitter. As you can see, that jumper is being connected to transmitter. Make sure at all times it's always straight. If it's not straight, it will not screw in. Make sure it always screwed in. You always give it a nice tight wedge there. Make sure it's well. Remember, you have a lot of power going through those wires. Okay, now we have our output of our antenna here going into our transmitter, our scan meter. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect our antenna, which is this wire here, connected to our scan meter, and we're gonna connect it to our antenna side. I think you should put it through here. Make sure you always try to make your connections where all your wires are well, they don't bother in no way. Okay, so we're pretty much set over here, okay? We did all our connections. As you can see, we have our scan meter, our amplifier, which is a 4-pill with I think they are, if I'm not mistaken, Toshiba's 2970, SC 2970 Toshiba. Each one gives you maybe about 80 watts, 80 to 120 watts each pill. So there's about 5 pills in this amplifier. And over here we have our high power amplifier. This is if I'm not mistaken, 6 tubes. This is a pretty old amplifier which uses tubes, and it's 110 volts. Okay, so we're pretty set over here. We got all our connections, so we're pretty set. What we're gonna do is we're gonna connect our microphone. So we just connect our microphone to the radio. Make sure it's always at all time well connected and everything is pretty tight. Okay, so we're all set with our microphone. This is the Shure microphone, pretty old microphone, but it works pretty well. It has a very good modulation. Okay, so we're all set over here. So we're gonna go into do our connections to see if our radio is working and see how everything is connected. If we have any loss or anything. Okay, so we're gonna do our connections now.